Hey everybody, Glenn Houseman here, and I'm so glad that you've arrived. Listen, I have been in the trenches for the last year thinking about hoteliers could save money, thinking about ways that they can change the way that they operate their properties, make adjustments in order to spend less while making more money. And that's why I love the great folks over at Best Buy and Best Buy Business, their hospitality division. Let me tell you, is making big changes that you all out there might not be aware of, and they are totally involved in everything in the hospitality zeitgeist these days. That's why I got with myself, Larry Tran here from Best Buy. Larry, so great to see you, my friend. I'm excited to talk to you because, you know, we're at that point now where people are thinking, hey, I want to travel again. I want to travel again, but they want to feel confident out there. I know you guys are thinking about this. How does a company such as Best Buy think about bringing guest confidence and safety to the hotel business?
No, that's a really good question, Glenn. If you think about it, you know, we all approach safety in our own way, right? So as we're visiting, we all have a different mindset. And I know that our hoteliers are working really hard to provide the safest environment, but how do they do that and then effectively communicate that back out to their guests? I think that's a critical element that we can definitely help with.
Right. Yeah. And that's true. Absolutely. Communication. So you say it could help, but practically speaking, what does that mean? If I'm a hotelier, how are you helping me get that message out?
Yeah, there's a myriad of ways, right? And through technology specifically, it's leveraging the digital assets that are available, digital signage, you know, kiosks. Even if you think about sanitation, right? Everyone's concerned with that. A customized kiosk where you can walk up to it, sanitize your hands, and at the same time relay that message to your guests. It's so important that you're really concerned about their safety and you're doing everything you can with the right protocols in place.
Right, Larry, that really plays well into what we're seeing now. Particularly, I'm thinking if you want to keep people feeling safe, especially in the dining scenario, a lot of quick serve places have sprung up in hotels right now. I can see the menu board right there on that screen, and you're getting a little fresh up of the sanitizer before going in there, right?
That's a good point. And to the point of dining, right? So maybe some people feel more comfortable dining inside versus outside. It's going to be a mix, right? But if they prefer to dine outside, how do you create that right environment? Leveraging, again, different types of technology or different products to make them as comfortable as possible. I think if I'm eating outside and it's, you know, below 50 degrees because I'm a California guy, I'm going to want some patio heaters and some nice furniture to sit in. And most people don't know that's something that we can absolutely help with.
Ooh, patio heaters. That is something that I have recently added to my backyard because I'm spending a lot more time outside because I'm not getting to travel as much. But one of the other things that I've been thinking about lately, and we saw some fits and starts with this in select rooms and select hotels, the whole idea of better air filtration. What are you thinking in regards to that? Do you think that we're going to see more of a trend in that direction?
Absolutely. I think a lot of us are focused on what we can tangibly see and touch and feel today, right? But you think about the number one mechanism where you could potentially get sick really is through the air and what you breathe. And at Best Buy, we're working with the top-notch suppliers to understand what's best in class and how can we deliver that at scale to the thousands of hotels that are likely going to need this technology to really ensure that their clients or guests, stay safe.
Yeah. How are hotels thinking about putting in like air filtration units, for example?
Yeah, it's a really good point. So they're looking at it either from an in-room perspective or in common spaces, right? So as we return back to normal and people do prefer to, let's say, eat inside, how do you report back that that air is truly clean and it's doing what it needs to do from a filtration standpoint, right? So not only is it in your room, but it's in the spaces that you're going to frequent as you travel through the hotel itself.
But it's also absolutely essential to communicate, again, those messages of safety. So not only do you have the visual cue of, oh, the air is being refreshed here, but you could utilize digital signage and other clever solutions in order to make sure that that message is given to the hotel guests without really, I think, hitting them over the head with it. Because I think the last thing, Larry, we want to feel is there's too much invasiveness. We want to have the perception that it's still 2019 when it comes to the hotel experience.
Of course, that's right. And then we can help tailor those messages as well too through like an automated platform. So the hotelier doesn't have to worry about constantly updating those, right? We can take those feeds and show it once every hour, twice every hour, whatever that routine that they'd like to establish. We can build out all of that so they can focus on that guest experience and not worry about that signage aspect, right? We can take that off their hands.
Now, Larry, one of the things that I find interesting as I've been learning more and more about Best Buy, and I always love going to Best Buy to get great deals from the time decades ago, Larry, when I installed a 10-disc CG changer into the back of my 1991 Saturn. I've been a big fan of all the technology over there, but it makes me think about technologies that come and go, aging technologies and stuff. And I find it fascinating that you not only do products, but you also do IT consulting and help people understand the life cycle of the technology within their hotels that aren't necessarily guest facing.
Yeah, it's an element that's often overlooked at how Best Buy can help, right? And I'll give you a good example. So one of our clients approached us with a very large project. They had 80 hotels and they needed to upgrade their servers at every single one.
Wow.
The challenge is they didn't have the resources at every single property to be able to deploy it effectively and configure it and do all that legwork behind the scenes. So what we did is we leveraged Geek Squad City. It's a 300,000 square foot facility we have in Louisville, Kentucky, with full customization capabilities. And we set up every single server exactly how they wanted it, set up that image. So when it shipped out, it just simply needed to be plugged in and was ready to go, right? So we leverage our scale and our resources to make it easier for our hoteliers who have limited resources right now, right?
Right. And that's what one of the things that I really like, that not only do you have all these products, but really you're able to offer best in class advice for people. And yes, everybody, I made a little Best Buy pun there with that. Larry, really interesting. Even though we're in a time of crisis, hoteliers are thinking about the future. They're thinking about making those investments. What are some of the things that owners are starting to invest in right now that we may or may not have spoken about?
Yeah, when you think about the consumerization of technology, right? And you really saw this with like iPads and tablets happening in the B2B space. People are really thinking about operational efficiency. And from that regard, how we can help is what's called device lifecycle management. So as your devices age, whether it be a laptop, a computer, or a tablet, or a mobile device for your back of the house, people are thinking about how do we streamline our efficiencies and ensure that we have the latest technology so that when my employees truly need it, it's functional and it's ready to work, right? So we can help with a myriad of those products. And the most important part that you mentioned before, Glenn, is that consultative approach, right? Tell me what you're trying to achieve. What is your operational goal? And let us help you get there by leveraging our engineering resources and our vendor partners to bring the best solution to life.
Right. And I'll tell you one best solution I have is this home studio that I'm on right now is actually being run by a computer that I purchased at Best Buy. That's why, that's how much I like you guys. I'm trusting the future of my entire business to Best Buy. Larry, thank you so much for being with us today. How can we learn more about what you're doing over there?
So two ways. You can go to bestbuy.com/hospitality, or you can simply email me, larry.tran@bestbuy.com, and I'll make sure you get in the right hands.
Excellent. I absolutely love it. Larry, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you joining us. All right, everybody, listen, you know that your technology is going to get older. You know that you're going to need to replace it. And you also know that you're going to need to invest in technologies that are going to make guests feel more comfortable, secure, and safe within your environment. That's why I love Best Buy. That's why they're doing such a great job. And you should too. Check them out. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time on No Vacancy News Today. I'm Glenn Hausman. Have a great day.